2008 was a crazy time. Let's do a quick recap, shall we? Hello and welcome back to Tide to Wealth, where you're just one sale away from financial success. Subprime mortgage crisis. So, back then, a lot of people were given this thing called subprime mortgages. Subprime mortgages are loans given to people with not so great credit scores. Since these borrowers are seen as riskier for the lenders, these mortgages have higher interest rates. Now, come on, even a 5th grader would know that's a bad idea, because you know what ends up happening eventually? Well, people struggle to pay up. And when people couldn't handle the higher mortgage payments after the initial grace period, they planned to refinance once their house appreciated in value. But when housing prices dropped instead of going up, refinancing became tough. Some people couldn't dodge the higher payments and started missing them, leading to defaults. As more people struggled with mortgage payments, the number of homes up for sale due to the foreclosures increased. This pushed house prices down even more, making homeowners' equity drop. At the same time, banks got hit too because the value of mortgage-backed investments fell, hurting their financial health. Around September 2008, average house prices in the US fell by over 20% from their peak in mid-2006. This sudden drop left many homeowners with homes worth less than their mortgages. In early 2008, about 8.8 million homeowners had homes valued less than what they owed, a number that jumped to 12 million by late 2008. And by September 2010, nearly a quarter of all US homes were worth less than their mortgage loans. Well, that led to a massive financial crash. And let's be real, we still haven't fully recovered from that. While there hasn't been a financial crash in a while, and things aren't nearly as bad as they were back in 2008, the problem is that the future does look kinda bleak. So let's talk about what's happening now. The housing market is feeling pretty rough right now. Just think about it. The mortgage rates are hitting 8%, which is high, of course, but it's not just that. There's also a shortage of houses up for grabs, which is making things even worse. Remember when everyone was rushing to buy homes during the crazy COVID times because of the extremely low interest rates? That pushed prices sky high. And now, with these soaring mortgage rates, it's getting even tougher for people to buy. In fact, not many people are even trying to get a mortgage these days. It's the lowest demand in almost 30 years. It's a bit ironic though. You'd think when rates go up, home prices would chill a bit, but not this time. The thing is, there just aren't enough houses to go around. Back in the 2008 financial meltdown, home builders took a huge hit, and since then they've struggled to catch up. That means fewer new homes are popping up. Bottom line, the housing market's a bit of a rollercoaster right now, with high rates, crazy prices, and not enough homes. Buyers and sellers are a bit spooked by it all. Now, the question is, who's most affected by the current housing market? September saw the lowest home sales since the Great Recession. People who want to sell feel stuck because they don't want to switch their comfortable 3% mortgage for an 8% one just to buy another place. One mortgage expert, Matthew Graham from Mortgage News Daily, thinks this might be even worse than the big financial crisis, especially given how many homes are being bought and sold. He's not sure when rates will improve. The Federal Reserve is playing it cautious, waiting to see how their plans affect the economy. The National Association of Realtors says September's home sales were the slowest since 2010. But here's the twist. It's not quite like the old foreclosure mess. Foreclosures are super rare now, and most homeowners have loads of value in their homes. Plus, lots of people refinance when rates were really crazy low between 2020 and 2022, so they're handling their housing costs pretty well. However, buyers are also kinda in a pickle. They're feeling pretty stuck. Lisa Retch, a well-known real estate agent, says folks are nervous and playing the waiting game. They're holding back to see how things pan out. Now, what about prices? Well, they're not expected to move much from here on out, especially with an 8% mortgage rate hanging around. Even though there's a shortage of homes, prices might just stay put, according to Lawrence Yun, the top economist at the NAR, National Association of Realtors. But here's a glimpse of hope. In some places with a lot of job growth and decent prices, like certain spots in Florida, think Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, Houston in Texas, and Memphis in Tennessee, home sales might pick up. Now let's talk about this from the side of the builders. In the world of home construction, things are moving along slowly. They're building single-family homes, but not enough to keep up with how many people want them. Builders aren't feeling too optimistic either, especially with rates going up. On the flip side, apartment rents are finally calming down a bit because there are a ton of new apartments up for rent. That's making renters less interested in buying homes. But, oddly enough, the demand for rental places is going up. Now, for folks thinking about getting a new place, whether it's bigger or smaller, it's a bit tricky. Prices are still going up because there aren't enough homes for everyone who wants to buy. And well, when you couple that with the way the job market has been acting up, you have a problem. So, here's the deal. The job market's slowing down, and that's not great news for the economy and homes. Recently, unemployment went up to 3.8% from 3.5%. That might mean the Fed will likely keep interest rates the same, but it puts more pressure on families, making it harder to pay mortgages and possibly leading to more foreclosures. Even a small rise in unemployment can cause big problems. High mortgage rates are already making it tough for people to buy homes. If rates don't shoot up right away because the FED can't raise them this month, it might give some relief. But if rates keep going up, home prices could drop fast. That doesn't mean there's a crash coming soon, but higher unemployment means fewer people can afford to buy homes, which could eventually lead to one tough situation. Yet, at the same time, demand has kind of gone up. But then, there's the problem with the building permits. In June 2023, about 91,000 permits for building single-family homes were filed across the US. That's been going up since hitting a low in December 2022, which was the lowest in about 7 years. The actual number in June was even higher than what experts expected, which was around 74,800 permits. To give you an idea, back in 2009, after the big housing crash, only about 22,100 permits were filed for single-family homes. That's a huge difference compared to what we're seeing now. Builders these days aren't feeling as upbeat as they were in 2021, but they're feeling better than they did in 2022. Their confidence score, which tells us how they feel about new homes, reached 56 out of 100 in July 2023. Back in December 2021, it was a super high 84, but it hit a low of 31 in December 2022. This confidence score is based on how many new homes are being built, how many they expect to build in the next 6 months, and how many buyers are checking out these new homes. Even though construction isn't as crazy as it was during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, builders are still working hard to fill the gaps that were there. They're trying to keep up with demand and get more homes out there for people who want them. So far, we've talked about all the factors that could lead to a housing crash. Yes. However, at the same time, things are a little different when you compare it to the 2008 financial crisis. Back then, loans were given to folks who couldn't really handle them. When interest rates shot up and jobs became scarce, lots of people faced losing their homes. During that time, lots of homes were built, but when fewer folks could buy, those houses just sat empty. Fast forward to now, and we're still trying to catch up on building homes since then. But things are a bit different now. Laws have been put in place to stop sneaky lending practices. And even though home prices and interest rates are high, there are more people who can buy homes than there are homes for sale. Experts think a housing crash isn't likely right now, even though a recession might be on the horizon. So, while it might seem uncertain, things aren't quite the same as they were back then. There are safeguards in place, but we still need to keep an eye on what the future holds. On that note, do you think this housing crash will be worse than the Great Recession of 2008? Can we pull through it this time? Or should we expect the worst this time? Let us know what you think in the comments section down below. We'll see you in the next video.